season marks a new beginning. Witness the raw power, iconic sound, and pure speed from the historic Lotus 79. Experience the competition and glory days of early 80s open-wheel action. Watch as drivers wrestle these ground effects cars into submission. Drivers will face off wheel to wheel. For some, it's a chance at redemption. For others, an opportunity to make a statement. All sharing the same goal, to be crowned champion. Who will be victorious tonight? The Lionheart Retro Series presented by DMLC Racing Channel starts now.
Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. We are all gamers, and HyperX is always ready to game. Michigan International Speedway, it's time for the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of Lionheart Retro Series Season 4 Championship presented by our good friends, DMLC Racing Channel. This is the Turn Racing 200 and all the simulated retro Lotus 79 action. From the green flag, the victory donuts to stream your way live, and happens right here on the iRacing eSports Network. Good evening, everybody, from the rolling hills of Brooklyn, Michigan, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Sim Experience Countdown to the Green, alongside the banker, Brian Natzik. I'm Jason Galvin, joining you in the virtual press box up here for tonight's Turn Racing 200 action. Sean Ambrose, turning the dials as our director. Of course, our great camera angles, as always, come to you via our great friend, Dougie Beard. One of the classic ovals in open wheel history is Michigan International Raceway. It has been home to some of the most iconic races in IndyCar history, but also some of the most infamous ones. Tonight, we head back in time to the classic version of this track with a classic series. Let's take a look at it, your GSRC track guide.
Welcome to the Michigan International Speedway. This 2-mile D-shaped oval located in the beautiful Irish hills of southern Michigan, sitting about an hour and a half's drive to the southwest of Detroit along I-94, right in the backyard of Chevrolet and Ford. When you're that close to Detroit Power, your speedway better live up to the hype. 18-degree banked corners with a 12-degree banked front stretch allow for maximum power and lots of action. The higher downforce Indy cars were able to put on spectacular shows of driver bravery and talent. In recent years, it's played host to mostly the tin top cars, as the NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Gander Truck, and even ARCA Series have all hosted events here in the last decade. Michigan is a wide, sweeping oval, but it isn't harmless. The lowest groove of the corners near the bottom can be your very best friend in the IndyCar, but your worst enemy in the tin tops. Cars will frequently get loose that far down the track, causing chaos for the pack behind. Michigan is all about speed and lots of it. Often the drivers that find the most success here are the ones willing to experiment around the track and find grip their competitors haven't. The facility in recent years has doubled down on fan comfort as well, giving more elbow room, redoing seats, camping areas, even providing Wi-Fi to watch all of these live broadcasts in the grandstands of all the sections. All in all, Michigan has become a staple of American motorsports since it opened in 1968. Fans and drivers both always look forward to when the schedules come back to the beautiful Irish hills of southern Michigan. Fast speeds, high action, it's all here at Michigan International Speedway, where it's your speed.
Bringing in my longtime broadcast partner, the banker, Brian Natzik. Yaz, we are up in your neck of the woods tonight. Michiganders, they do love themselves some cars in general, and MIS just outside of the Motor City. This track is as good as it gets for open wheel racing, Brian.
You're absolutely right, Jason. Hello, welcome everybody to another Retro Series broadcast here. You're absolutely right. Michigan International Speedway, my neck of the woods, 18 degrees of banking, 2-mile D-shaped oval, formerly owned by the one and only Mr. Roger Penske himself. And you're absolutely right, just about an hour and a half down I-96 and a little bit of 127 to Detroit, downtown Detroit, that is. So that's where your big three have always remained. That's why Michigan, in terms of automotive racing, country, in the country, there we go, getting my phrases right tonight. In the country, it's always meant that much more in Michigan. It's, you know, it gives everybody that little sense of ownership in the, you know, in the facility, and everybody kind of feels like, you know, I'm 4 hours away from the Michigan International Speedway, but I feel like it's in my backyard. That's the sort of environment that you get there, and when you get that environment, you get happy racing. And let me tell you what, boys and girls, if you're tuning in for the first time tonight or multiple times, you're going to be in for a treat. Michigan in these Lotus 79s, high, wide, handsome, 4 wide I've been seeing in practice. And yeah, we're just going to have to let this one fold. If you thought Gateway was exciting last week, hang on to this one. And we're going to keep going into this as we go through the countdown to green. And remember, that countdown to green is brought to you by the SimExperience AccuForce steering system, the most advanced tuning features on the market. The AccuForce Direct Drive is second only to the real thing. To check out the entire SimExperience line of products, head on over to simexperience.com.
This is our 4th trip to Michigan here in the Retro Series. This track has been featured in all 4 seasons. Remember what Brian just said about exciting races here? Brian, pop quiz.
Yeah.
3 races. Brian was distracted. 3 races here. What do you think the largest margin of victory is here at Michigan International Speedway in the Retro Series? What I mean by that, just to be clear, is what is the biggest gap we have had in 3 races between 1st and 2nd place?
Let's see here at the Michigan International Speedway. I'm going to guess. I'm going to say half a tenth.
Oh, it's a little more than that. 0.2 of a second.
All right.
But that was season 1. Last year, how's this one? 2 thousandths of a second. 0.002 as Ryan Otis defeated David Clymer. That was kind of a defining moment in Ryan Otis's championship season, as he finally proved that, yes, he could win on an oval. And it was a phenomenal race between Otis and Clymer. In season 2, we had Michael Goodman beat Aaron Morgan by 12 hundredths, and in season 1, it's 23 hundredths of a second as Bobby Mikes beat Chris Stouffer. We've also had 3 different pole sitters here: James Corhula, Dan Guerin, and last year was the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow. So should be an exciting one here at Michigan. And as you mentioned, boy, practice has been spectacular, to say the least, here in Michigan so far. Here we go with qualifying, and the track record in qualifying is held by Dustin Wardlow last year, 37.430 for the Candyman out of Bakersfield, California. Last year, the field was kind of trimmed down. It was just 28 entries, and a little bit longer as we take a look at the point standings for the Lionheart Retro Series. George loves stats, and I got just totally hung up on the stats here. Yes, okay? Got to cut me some slack. Stats are cool. I'm a stat man. Points are stats.
Points are stats.
Right. Retro Series presented by the DMLC Racing Channel here. Ryan Otis is your points leader over Sage Karam. I'm checking. Is Sage here? This has to be our weekly deal. Sage is here. Sage was not the biggest fan of oval racing after the IndyCar race last night, so I was wondering if he would make an appearance. Little Train up there in 3rd, then the Candyman and Aaron Morgan. That's your top 5. Let's slide along to team points. This is brought to you by our good friends at HyperX. And that team with James Paulson, Ryan Otis, and Dustin Wardlow, 311 points in front of their teammates at Raven Motorsports Silver with George Anzaldo, Travis Jägerleiner, and Sage Karam. The battle is for second. Senrock Esports jumped Avatar Auto Racing last round and is making a run, just 16 points back now as the team of Jason Bossy, Ryan Corns, and Vinny Indicunha.
Take a look at the Rookie of the Year standings presented by Butt Kicker. And there you see that name again, classy Jason Bossy, to the adoring fans in the chat. Still on top of the Rookie of the Year standings. You got Richie Hearn, 24 markers back. 2 markers back off of that is Tommy Ryan, Ricky Harden, and the Reagan man back there, Chris Reagan in the 19th spot. I tried to make a nickname there, didn't quite stick. But if you're outside of that top 5 in points, sorry, you're just not going to get a lot of airtime as we're getting down towards the end of the season. Because you look at that Rookie of the Year standings, and that's where the battle is. I talk about it every single week. Go back to Gateway, find it again. Just how close this battle is, how exciting it's going to be each and every single week. And I promise by the time that we get the green flag going, I will stop trying to make words and nicknames up as I'm being ridiculed off air that I'm glad that no one else can see.
Don't have any idea what you have to show me where this ridiculing is. I'm always down for some good ridiculing. The Lionheart Racing Series, powered by HyperX, Premier Open Wheel Series on iRacing, with 2 great leagues. The Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by First Medical Equipment. Hey, shout out to Tony Schowen. Picked up his first win in the IndyCar Series last night, and he has been running with us for a long, long time on that Adrenaline Motorsports team. I think he was the last driver on Adrenaline of the long-standing Adrenaline drivers that had not won in the IndyCar side. He won over here, had not an IndyCar, and finally was able to break through last night in that great win over Josh Chin. Of course, tonight we're watching the Lionheart Retro Series presented by the DMLC Racing Channel, and both of these series race in memory of the late Dan Weldon.
These series details come to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. Industry-leading gloves, super lightweight, super durable, made of breathable poly spandex. Whether you're a sim racer or a kart racer, Minus 273 gives you the control to reach victory lane. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit minus273.biz. Don't forget to use the promo code Minus 273 LHRS for 15% off your orders. And there we see season details. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of the end of the season there. Round 14 of 18. Got the adjusted fixed setup with this classic Lotus 79. A lot of horsepower, a lot of wide open. Lots of downforce here for these drivers tonight with cash prizes that everybody's racing for. $6,671. See on screen, Mr. Bossy taking his lap times. Shout out to the fan club out there. It's great. Jason, I think it's wonderful when, the drivers kind of have their own fan clubs that follow them around. I've seen Matt Houston getting some shout out in the chat as well. It gives you a little bit something extra to grab onto that steering wheel and try to get that extra spot when you can.
Definitely does. Looks like qualifying's kind of winding down here. In fact, winding down is an understatement. Qualifying is over. Look at that. Beautiful. Can we call that a drone shot now? I know iRacing doesn't label it that way. Director Sean, let's check in. Director Sean. Yes, shot. Drone shot. Dougie Beard drone shot. I dig it. Dougie got a drone. Teach me how to Dougie. That's Dougie. Michigan International. Well, did you like that one? Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Teach me how to Dougie.
Every once in a while, I gotta rescue you from your Chris Reagan nickname there. All right, let's take it to the starting grid here tonight, and for this one, Paul Jenkins is on the pole. Boy, I mentioned stats, huh? Let me go double check on that one here. That is Paul Jenkins' first career pole. Attaboy, Paulie. 37.542 beats out Ricky Harden, our runner-up a week ago. Ryan Otis coming off the heartbreaker, running out of fuel, and George Anzaldo in row 2. Mark Cohn, the series sponsor, making a rare appearance here, will start 5th next to David Clymer, the runner-up a year ago. There's Sage Karam and Adam Young in row 4. Classy Jason Fossey, Aaron Morgan, row 5. Holy smokes, yes, that's a top 10 for you.
That's definitely a good way to start this race. Look at that, all that star power in the front end. But now we're going to move back. Chris Tagg there in the 11th spot with Trevor Malone to his outside in the 12th position. 13th going to Tommy Ryan. Almost had one last week at Gateway with fuel mileage in play. 13th, 14th to the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow. There's the guy that capitalized most on last week. Mike Rasmus in the 15th spot. 16th going to Matt Houston. 17th to Bobby Mikes. Chris Fowler in 18th, Ryan Corns 19th, and he's the last car to qualify on time. So technically speaking, you know,
look at all the cars that just punted it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. You got Lionel Kalisto there 20th, and you take over there.
Finian DeCunha, Scotty Holmes, Matt Taylor, Chris Lanini making a one-off appearance, Mike Rigney, Chris Reagan, Richie Hearn, Tyson Landis, Sam Crow. There's 29 cars, and 10 of them were like, we don't need qualifying. And let me tell you, I'm going to see why once the green flag drops. Onboard cameras, and you're going to start with the points leader. Defending race winner and defending champion, Ryan Otis. He's rolling with HyperX here tonight. Whatever you play, however you play it, HyperX knows all gamers. Promo code LionHRT15, HyperXGaming.com.
Move on back to Sage Karam at the -273 camera. Durable, breathable, lightweight racing gloves. Check them out. -273.biz. Use promo code -273 LHRS for 15% off of all your orders.
The butt kicker onboard camera, and it goes to the most recent winner here in the Retro Series, Mike Rasmus. I think he finished top 5 last night too in his IndyCar debut. Rasmus is in the poker world being on a heater. Feel what you've been missing. Use the promo code LION2020 at thebuttkicker.com.
Gonna head on to George Anzaldo, the Turn Racing camera. Turn Racing, merging the gap between real and sim racing. Use promo code Lionheart10 at turnracing.com.
Michigan International Speedway, 200 miles, 100 laps. Fuel window somewhere around lap 45. 3 winners in 3 years. Who will join Bobby Mikes, Michael Goodman, and Ryan Otis as winners here in Michigan? Stick with us. You're about to find out. The Turn Racing 200 is green here on the iRacing Esports Network, and we're already wrecking at the back. Somebody spins at the back. Paul Jenkins really held everybody down, and Matt Houston is who went around. We'll have to see how he got punted as we're clean and green into turn 1. It was Chris Fowler who turned Houston. We'll take a look at it when we can.
Bobby's going to have a real interesting view on that one, too.
Bobby kind of got into that on what I saw. Again, we'll have to check here. Let's let him get straightened out here. I know our director's got it marked for us. Let's try to get through the clean and green if we can, and then we'll check in on that. Up front, who's going to lead lap number 1? Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be your pole sitter. Instead, it's Ricky Harden out in front. Here comes Jenkins to make a run, but Ricky Harden takes the first bonus point of the night as they head off into turn 1.
Oh, that was just lap 1, boys and girls. And now you see as we head off in this long shot. Oh, who's going up the track? Everybody held it together. It's a riding shotgun car. I can't quite see. Was that Kalisto or Adam Young? I think it was Adam Young who got a...
Adam Young started up in the top 10. That makes sense.
And he got booted up out of the groove in turns 1 and 2 there. And really chased him.
Track, yes. And so Michigan got a repave a few years ago. This is not the repave. And so while the racing is phenomenal, the track is awfully bumpy, and that's going to create some moments tonight, to say the least. Look at Sage poking his nose in there, already trying to think about maybe going 3 wide for the lead.
Sometimes on these big ovals, these Lotus 79s are kind of like a dog chasing a car. You get all this draft, you get all the speed, and then you don't really kind of know what you're going to do when you get there. But you're really excited to get there. You see kind of Sage riding out back there, probably trying to get just beyond where he unfortunately met his early end last night. I think he was caught up in the first caution very early on in that race. Look at that onboard camera here looking right above the helmet. Driver looking forward. Chris Tagg going purple, and whoever was right in front of Jenkins just disappeared for a moment.
Ricky Harden did lead that lap as well. Paul Jenkins keeps poking his nose out in front, but has yet to actually lead at the line, so Harden's led all three. 28 lead changes here 1 year ago was the race record. This race historically has been very clean, by the way. Season 1, just 2 cautions. Season 2 had some issues with 5 yellows. Last year, only 1 caution in this race, and yet we still had a finish that was .002. Pretty phenomenal stuff last season. They're 3 wide here into turn 1, and poking in on that top side, that is George Anzaldo, the series founder. George had an interesting night in IndyCar last night. I'm sure he'd like to make up for it here.
Good run up to the top, but then that middle groove just pushes away. You see, just kind of float back. Look at that wide angle shot. See all these Lotus 79s just screaming down into the corner. 2, 3 wide. We saw him 4 wide in practice, so we know that it can be done. Ricky Harden still leading the laps. Paul Jenkins getting a big shove out now. He's going to try to break Sage Karam with him going down into turn 3. Looks like Jenkins going to leave the bottom open for Ricky. Late in the race, I don't see that happening. On lap 6, it's a pretty good call. They're going to try and stack him up 3 wide back there. That's a Candyman. Adam Young, we were just talking about him. And George Anzaldo. Tommy Ryan, a very interested onlooker beyond that. Just back there, Chris Tagg. Candyman almost contact there. Adam Young getting a little bit in the aero wash as you get into this pack and this front of the car being so dependent. Ooh, they're trying to get 4 wide behind him. Who is that back there? That's Tommy Ryan. Jason Bossy just sneaking his way through the middle there.
This looks fun. Sign me up.
I mean, you got him just about 4 wide again. You got him all over the track. I mean, if you're not getting any kind of excitement out of this race, I don't know what to tell you. Let's take a look out for Otis. Let's get right into the hornet's nest here.
Boy, these races, though, I mean, for as fun as they are to watch, and as much as Yaz and I are sitting here going, man, tonight's the night I wish I was driving instead of sitting up in the booth. Tonight's not the night you want to be somebody like Ryan Otis, who has a pretty comfortable points lead at this point and can't afford a mistake. And Ryan is not the type of driver to make a mistake, Yaz, but you can't control what you can't control.
Turn 2 is the 20 machine. Chris Fowler.
That's an eventful night for Chris Fowler already.
Oh, that's... Man, it's a good jump on board here. See if we can take a look.
It's Tyson Landis, who was coming up the track, and Chris Fowler just kind of ran in the back of him. Riding on board.
Well, look, you got to look ahead of that, though.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, whoever was in front of that, there was a blink, and that caused that other driver to check up.
Yeah, it almost looked like Tyson Landis, either he lifted or he aero washed off the car in front of him, and Chris Fowler had just tucked in to maybe get a run, and instead ran into the back of Tyson Landis. So Chris Fowler out on our opening caution of the night. The backside of Tyson Landis' car looks okay, Yaz. Remember, that's super important here in the Retro Series because iRacing does not replace your wings on this race car like it does over on the IndyCar side of things. So keep an eye on Tyson Landis. Remember last week at Gateway and also at Iowa, there were 2 different times in the last 2 races where somebody had incidents like this, Yaz, and we looked at it and said, oh, car's fine, and then next thing we knew they were lapped down. So we have to keep an eye on Tyson Landis here and see how that shakes out. And is anybody coming to pit road is the question. You know, they're in their window. George said 45 to 46 laps, and here comes a couple cars. Tommy Ryan, it looks like, peeling off.
Well, it's, you know, with the
Boy,
fuel
and look at
window-
this. Everybody from about 8th and 9th on back comes in.
Yeah, and that was the note that we were given pre-race. That fuel window is about 45, 46 laps. You get a caution here, so maybe guys, maybe the strategy here is okay. It looks like it's going to be clean and green. Let's get, because if you're not going to be able to save that kind of fuel anyway, let's get our first stop out of the way. Tommy Ryan down the way, fuel only. Get that done out of the way now. So then at the end of the race, when it comes down to it, I mean, A, don't need to take as much fuel, so less time on pit road. B, let's less weight in the car, so that generally makes this car heavier. Let's see, Sean, do we got that, the shenanigans at the start of this race? Let's get that going here while the field is pacing around.
We're looking at our race start again, and this was the incident that did not cause a caution. It starts with Chris Fowler, the aforementioned, and now out of the race. Chris Fowler, and he just guns it, and nobody else had gone.
That was a strange start back there.
Somebody else had popped out of line, but they weren't on the throttle. And Chris just kind of floored it and ran right into the back of poor Matt Houston. Bobby Mikes, that's who Matt spun right across the nose of, and didn't look like Bobby had any real damage from that, but I didn't really go check in on how he was running.
Well, Bobby's at 8, so
He stayed out.
I don't think he'd be able to run without a front wing.
Let's ride on board with Bobby Mikes and watch this one again.
You'll see. This is either going to be the greatest replay of a miss.
Oh, wow.
Ah!
That's worth of Lon Hansen's bratwurst or two.
Bobby, if you go back and get the clip that replay, send it into iRacing Top 10. It's a great record point.
Right. Under caution for the first time here in Michigan, the Turn Racing 200. Round number 14 for the Lionheart Retro Series presented by DMLC Racing Channel here in the 2020 season. It's an 18-race season. It means we've got 5 to go, including tonight. And those points that we looked at included drop weeks, which are now part of things. And so Ryan Otis is feeling semi-comfortable. Remember, Auto Club at the end of the year is a double points race. Paul Jenkins, your pole sitter, is also your leader right now, his first pole of the year. Ricky Hart and Dustin Wardlow, George Anzaldo, Adam Young, Sage Karen, Chris Tay, Bobby Mikes, Ryan Otis, Mike Rasmus, David Clymer, Mark Cohn. Those are the cars that stayed out. 12 stayed out. Everybody else came in. Tonight, we'll get to bring the field to Aaron Morgan. Jason Bossy has a ton of front.
Morgan. You really get a good look up the road to see if there was an additional stack up.
Boy, I don't know. I'm kind of watching that there. And Tommy kind of gunned it. And Aaron and Jason really went, and then both really stopped. That's the problem with these ovals, that people have a tendency to lay back a little bit to get runs, and it usually ends up not being worth it. As we're 3 wide up front. Candyman and Ricky Harden. Paul Jenkins down low.
George,
Auto there.
I thought he was going to try and set 4 wide going into 3 there. He saw the front end of that car get real dancy, like he was trying to get it to point one way. The lead change. Now Dustin gets that
Dustin Wardlow, second all time in laps led here. 39 coming into this race. Only Trevor Malone had led more with 65.
Trevor Malone not in the picture at the moment. Good opportunity for Dustin to eat into that advantage a little bit.
Trevor Malone running back in 15th right now, just ahead of Richie Hearn. And a big gap to the next group of cars. Kind of 2 packs that have separated themselves out here on this run.
Well, and it's very interesting to note is that the division happens right at the nose of the 99,
Where the restart.
Yeah.
happened.
Well, yeah.
Also a semi-interesting note is the division also happens right at the split between cars who came to pit road and cars who did not, So cars who have 10 laps less fuel and therefore maybe a little bit quicker. And Tommy Ryan is the first car who came to pit road, and he's trying to hang on to the back of that pack right now. And then the big gap from Tommy Ryan back to Trevor Malone.
Oh, George, what happened? Woo. George got real squirrely off of turn 2. Maybe some air wall. The right rear of that car may have, if he didn't hit the wall, he got very, very close to it. But watching that 6 car, take a look here. I just happened to glance up, and there's a big wiggle. That car was looking like it was trying to chase the kind of swat flies on the inside as we're going to be on board with that turn racing camera. The car looks up to snuff, so maybe it just got squirrely on him.
Oh, big wreck up front. Paul Jenkins. More cars going around as well.
Oh, there's a lot of them. Sage Karam is
involved.
Oh, boy,
look out. Oh, Sage is not going to be happy about that. Paul Jenkins and Dustin Wardlow get together, going for the lead down the front straightaway. Boy, they were already ever so close.
Oh.
That almost looks like they netcode there.
Yeah.
Like, as if netcode drags them together. And, man, Sage Karam is probably livid right now. Oh, and even worse for Sage. It's Tommy Ryan who turns him. Sage lifted because he saw the wreck. Tommy had no way to see it. He was tucked up behind Sage. And then it got ugly. Mark Cohn with some great wreck avoidance there. Watch the gold car at the back. Oh, hangs it left and gets by it. Caution number 2. I show George and Zaldo got a big piece of that as well with Paul Jenkins, but it'll depend on how the netcode gods treated them.
I was just looking, you try and find a bright spot out of all that. Adam Young found it. He came off a turn 2 fourth, and he's now leading them to pit road.
And here comes pretty much everybody who did not pit. By the way, if they're coming down pit road here, if we can get a look at Chris Tagg's car, he was the car who hit Paul Jenkins. Chris Tagg was having a phenomenal run. He was up to 4th spot there when Jenkins went around, and that is not going to be the case once we get going again on pit road. Chris Tagg has a ton of front wing damage, similar to Jason Bossi. And everybody rolls off a pit road here. We'll get a look at Tagg. It's the back of the car, and you can tell, just look how long he's sitting there. That's repairs.
I'm really curious of why, if you pitted the last caution, maybe help me fill in the gaps here. If you already knew you had one stop regardless, why would you come back on pit road? And I'm saying that only because Brian Corns, Chris Lanini have stayed out. So I just think if you already had that one stop, why kind of get back in there? Because we know this car is great on light fuel, so it'd be very interesting to watch this 92 and this 28 on this, I guess let's call it an alternative strategy now. Let's get them out and see how that kind of shakes out in front of the field.
It's definitely an interesting point.
I don't, if you pitted on the last caution, I don't see an advantage to pitting, and Chris Lanini is going to head down pit road. Unless I'm missing something or we got the wrong fuel numbers. 1 to go. Lights are off on that Ford Mustang pace car. Beautiful Irish hills of the virtual Michigan International Speedway. Beautiful country to just kind of wander around down in that part of Michigan.
Let's run you through the top 10 here after the pit cycles, and every car has now been to pit road once. Ryan Corns leading Adam Young and the Candyman Dustin Wardlow in third. David Clymer and Ricky Harden, your top 5. Then it's Bobby Mikes, George Anzaldo, Ryan Otis, Chris Reagan, Mike Rasmus. Ryan Corns, did he take a qualifying time, Yaz? I forget. Was he the first car that did not? I think he did. He was the last car, right?
Yeah, he was. Last car to take qualifying time.
Ryan Corns from slowest car in qualifying, not last place, but slowest car, to first. And it took him a whopping 21 laps. Not even.
I think that's started from the bottom, and now we're here.
Yeah, that applies. Now the trick is to stay there. Pace car peels off. This will be the first restart, or start for that matter, that Paul Jenkins was not the leader on. And be curious when Ryan goes, and the answer is really, really early. That should help kind of thin things out here on the restart. There always seems to be more problems the longer the leader kind of holds everybody down.
Yeah, you can definitely see. I mean, you're talking several car lengths between each car now. Ricky Hart trying to make a run on the outside of quite momentum there. We'll take a look at a race analysis here. And you see that magic fuel number, 45. 45. 45. My screen's really small. It says 42.
It says 42. It's really
let's say 42 to 45.
It's 45 to 46. The 42 was based on last year's fuel, which they added to the car this year in this race. And so therefore, you get an extra couple of laps.
Listen to some of the ambiance. These Lotus 79s race around here. Gorgeous sound. 3 wide up front. Ryan Otis going purple. Camera shaking. Tell you what though, Jason, you mentioned George. I think he may have net coded through that incident because he's hanging on to the back half of this pack right here really nicely, not showing any signs of slowing down.
The one thing about pack racing is it gives some other drivers a chance to get up front. And here we're seeing Ricky Harden off a second place finish last week at Gateway. Adam Young up there in third place. Bobby Mikes up in the top 5. Ryan Corns having a strong run. Chris Reagan hanging on to the back of this lead pack. Ride with Mike Rasmus. He is the last car in this first group lead pack. 10th, 11th place to battle right now for the race winner a week ago at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway Motorsports Park. The butt kicker on board for the New Yorker. I gotta ask Mike if he's a Yankees fan or a Mets fan. I'd ask him about the Giants or the Jets, but the NFL is currently trying to drop both of them from the league and call up some college teams to replace them. So,
don't worry, I'll cry in Detroit Lions over here.
They're the next team after the 2 New Yorkers. Don't worry. It's a non-riveting Thursday night football game between the Dolphins and the Jaguars. Speaking of the game nobody wanted to go to. There's people at that game because Jacksonville is allowed to have fans, and I'm just curious if they had to also pay the fans to come and watch that. Instead, you could be watching this. Heck, you could be watching this in the stands at the Jaguars and Dolphins game right now.
I really hope somebody is right now. That'd be fantastic.
That'd be lovely. Yeah, if you are, find me on Twitter at Jason_Galvin.
Apparently, it's a decent enough game.
Shoot me a picture of it. Is it closer now? Last time I looked, it was ugly.
Yeah, all I know is one of my fantasy teams is playing Jacksonville's running back, so there's an 0-3 season right off the bat.
He was the one who was having a good game for them.
Yeah.
Very sorry about that. Very sorry.
Maybe next year. That's the
Never know.
Oh, that's my inner Detroit Lions right there. We get to the week 3 and we know we're done. It's like, well, maybe next year.
You know the Detroit Lions haven't won in almost a full calendar year? I feel very bad for you.
I'm very aware of that.
That's rough.
Really, what my plan is to hire them at my funeral so they can let me down into the ground. One final time.
Oh, wow. Boy, things got dark on lap 28, huh?
Just saying.
What did lap 28 do to you?
Well, if it was Matt Patricia trying to call it, he would have hit it right now.
The darts keep hitting bullseye. Out front, Dustin Wardlow, Ricky Harden, and Adam Young. They were 3 wide through that entire thing. So obviously none of them are listening to the broadcast. It was a wreck.
No, those are 3 darts sharper than Matt Patricia. There, I got to get my final one.
Ryan
Otis, yeah, let's go back on board here. Look at Otis. Look at over the right camera.
Bobby
there
Mike's
you see,
left.
yeah, you see, that's just what Ryan does. He just kind of rides in these bigger. I wanted to almost said plate races. That's my NASCAR background speaking. They're these high oval speedways. He just has a way to just lurk.
In a way, these cars have a restrictor plate, Brian. It's called the rear wing.
Yeah.
These things would probably really fly around tracks like this if put a little itty bitty wing on the back of it, but they got so much rear downforce, just creates all that drag, and that's why you get big pack races like this. Speaking of, we have 2 distinct packs again. The first one takes you all the way back to Finian DeCunha in 16th, and then there's a big old gap back to Chris Lanini and Matt Houston, and then everybody else kind of thins out.
Oh, 4 wide for the lead. Let's not try that right yet. We're going to go 3 by 3, starting just like the 1994 US 500.
Wow. So we should be wrecking just about now? Okay. Everybody look for Jimmy Vasser.
Oh, there's almost contact. Bobby Mike's David Clymer. Clymer about climbed onto the back wheel of Bobby there.
Oh. Here's an avid climber.
Look at those highlighter cars. Let's move the camera back just a little bit. I think that's the.
I was gonna say, which one?
Right back there. Chris Reagan, Richie Hurd. I call them the highlighter cars because, I mean, let's face it. I've seen school supplies that are duller sheen than those cars right now.
Yeah, but then Ricky Harden went and added that yellow, and Bobby Mike's added that like pastel-y highlighter blue. So now we've got the whole like Crayola highlighter pack. We've got pink, green, blue, and yellow. Like they're totally ready for sixth grade like arts and crafts.
We just need to get Sam Ryman to pace the field in his IndyCar from last night.
Oh man,
that will really complete. If I tell you what, boys and girls, if you ever watch that race, you'll find Sam's car pretty quick.
Real quick, like when we go green. I drove by Sam's car and got on the radio and said, "What in the world?" Tyler Graff is our teammate and paints that car. Jumped on. He goes, "Hey, that's what he asked for." I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I needed sunglasses when I got to it.
I think they had to use the matte finish because if they used the shine, it's just game over. It's like my chrome dome on a bright day. Still 3 wide up front.
They're going to be 3 wide until lap 100. That's my prediction.
Racing action better than Brian's jokes tonight.
It was a low bar. Low bar. Gateway might have been better than your jokes.
Wow.
Which was that was a joke in and of itself. Because you started the broadcast by telling everybody how excited they were about Gateway last week.
Well, if you remember, we had the leader run out of gas on the last lap, Jason. So that was the exciting part.
Just had to endure the Ryan Otis show up until that point. Hey, more power to Ryan.
Yeah. I mean, hey, he loves boring us up here. Because then he knows he's had a very clean race.
Technically, at the stage, I just wrote the write-up on that race 2 days ago. I think Sage led like 83 laps last week, but because of the way the fuel cycles worked out, nobody will remember that. Look at Adam Young sliding it into the middle. Ricky Harden left the door open, and Adam Young said, yeah, I'll run the middle. Why not?
Adam Young trying to make a case there at the end. And Adam Young going to try to. Unfortunately, I feel like every time we've talked to Adam, it's been before the checkered flag.
I was just going to say, yeah, we talked to Adam a lot this year, but it's usually about lap 40.
I feel like he wants to rectify that. So come on, Adam.
Just as long as he doesn't want to wreck, you know. You see what I did there?
Yeah, I got you.
Fine. Adam's going to lead that lap. Good for him. Riding shotgun. Not anymore. Whoa, Dustin Ward got a little out of shape, and Adam Young's car also bobbled.
You know, the Michigan International Speedway, it might be the only 2 miles of Michigan pavement that doesn't have a pothole, but that still doesn't mean it's not bumpy. Looks like
got a pothole. This one has a pothole.
I think Dustin bounced it. I think that's what happened in turn 2.
Look at this. Dustin and Adam, Bobby Mike just held his line and was like, all right, I'm here. Bobby led that lap, you'd never know it. Forget, is Bobby in Michigan or is he up in Minnesota?
He's up in Minnesota, he's close.
Close. It's like a stone's throw away, right?
Something like that, yeah. Snowball's throw.
Not that time of year yet.
It's September. It could snow next week. Jason, it's 2020.
Sean Ambrose, our director, jumps in our ear and says it's in the 30s tonight. Sean lives like an hour and a half from me, and it was 100 degrees where I live.
What you're saying is you don't need air conditioning.
Sometimes I really dislike him. Yeah, my AC is at 73 right now, and Sean's burning wood in the school.
Well, if you look at it, Sean,
way down there on the bottom. Who's that on the bottom?
Oh, big wreck out of turn 2.
Wreck. David Clymer, George Anzaldo.
I think Ricky's earned a new nickname. I'm going to call him the Prophet from now on, because he bailed out like he saw some bad news, and then seconds later it happened.
Oh, David Clymer
not too happy about that.
Not happy with somebody. Who was it?
Oh.
Well, I don't know. David Clymer said, at least you got me with the second hit. But the view that I'm watching, I don't know. I don't know that that's Bobby's fault. David kind of runs into him. I mean, again, I'm going to say the same thing that I was watching in the Lionheart chat, and Paul Jenkins was a little frustrated after his wreck, and Sage Karam, who, if anybody's supposed to be frustrated, it's the guy who continues to get wrecked out of oval races. Sage jumped in and said, I think that's just a product of the nature of racing tonight, and I think we just saw the same thing. But I got to tell you, we're kind of lucky. We've now wrecked twice at the front of the field and only taken 4 cars out. That's pretty impressive. But David Clymer went for a ride. So did George Anzaldo. You feel for George and David. David was so strong and was the runner-up here a year ago, as we mentioned. And George, he wants to win one of these retro races so bad. Had a chance tonight. Taken away. Pit road, Bobby Mikes is in. Trevor Malone, Ricky Harden, Tommy Ryan, Chris Reagan, Bobby Mikes, Richie Hearn, Finian, Ryan Corns, Chris Lanini, Matt Houston. That's everybody, it looks like. Little Train, Matt Taylor, Mike Rigney, Sam Crow, Tyson Landis, Jason Bossy all came in. Lap 41 here at Michigan of 100. We're closing in on halfway under our third caution. This is the Turn Racing 200 on the iRacing Esports Network and Global SimRacing Channel. Welcome back to the Turn Racing 200 here at the Michigan International Speedway. Round 14 of the Lionheart Retro Series presented by the DMLC Racing Channel. I'm Jason Galvin alongside of Michigan's own Brian Yatsik, the banker. Sean Ambrose directing tonight here on the iRacing Esports Network and the Global SimRacing Channel. Coming to lap 43, it's Adam Young, riding shotgun motorsports, but riding point on the field, leading the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, Ryan Otis, Mike Rasmus, and Mark Cohn, the series sponsor, as the green flag flies once again here at Michigan. They start to fan out back there from about 10th on back, and here we go into turn one. We'll see how long it takes them to get 3 wide at the front again. Yes.
I mean, that restart, we've been noticing it spreads them out just a little bit, but don't wait just too long there. You see Otis getting the draft on the Candyman there and kind of swung it up high out of 2, trying to ride that momentum and pull a little bit more draft off of Adam Young, but now it just kind of fades back. But you're going to see these guys aren't going to wait very long to get back to where they were.
Like right now.
Right now.
Ryan Otis says, I want to go 3 wide in the middle.
I mean, when Ryan Otis says he wants to go 3 wide, that's time to go, I feel.
Dustin Wardlow led the lap. I almost feel like Ryan was trying to go grab a bonus point. He's not led a lap yet. And he had a heck of a run, especially with Sage out now. I mean, Ryan could really cement the championship essentially here tonight. He gets out ahead of Wardlow. Adam Young comes up on the high side. Watch it there, Ryan. Those are teammates, Otis and Wardlow. Otis not going to have a big enough run this time. These cars really, they side draft incredibly well. I made a killing on that when I ran the series. Yeah. Whoa, Wardlow, and what was that? That was so close. Kind of saw Rasmus's car, and then look at Otis up the track on Adam Young. They know we're not halfway yet. This is not NASCAR. There's no stage bonus points.
Otis, maybe pitching just a little bit there on the game.
It's pretty aggressive for Ryan Otis for lap 45.
He
really wants to lead a lap. I don't know if he wants to lead a lap that bad. He'd tuck in and get a run like Adam Young here. He almost put Adam in the wall.
You might be on to something here. Like, let me get a bonus point and get out of here. I mean, when you look at the season, you look at bonus points, 24 bonus points for Ryan Otis versus 28 for Sage. So you know that getting a couple extra. Sage right now going to finish in the 27th spot. You got a pretty good chance to make a big dent in this one.
Lead pack is 13 cars strong, and then you get back to Matt Houston, Trevor Malone, Tommy Ryan. Those are all kind of the cars that came to pit road in that second pack. So we saw this earlier, remember, with the cars that had separated themselves from pit lane and whatnot. Otis gets shuffled up high. Aaron Morgan now goes to the middle. That's not going to be the way to lead a lap here. Ryan Otis. Dustin Wardlow continues to click off on the sled here at Michigan. In your top 5 as it runs right now is Wardlow, Adam Young. There's Mike Rasmus up into the top 3 for the first time tonight with Ryan Otis, and then Bobby Mikes and Mark Cohn. We'll call it the top 6 as they are 2 by 2.
Just kind of creeping up through here. Started back to the 15th spot. Dodging some early incidents and getting his way up there. Bobby Mikes is the car to pay attention to right now. First car with the first car up here in this pack that pitted on the on that last caution we just had.
Boy, last time by, the gap up front was 0-0-0 as we continue to watch Adam Young. Why don't we check in on one of Adam's teammates? And he's up near the front of the next pack in the other riding shotgun car. It's 97. We call him the Little Train. Lionel Kalisto, the Sim Experience driver profile. Little Train picked up his first win earlier this year. That was, what was that? Was that Pocono, yes?
Pocono, yes.
Run the top 10 a few times, top 5 a few times. Look at that, 17 top 10s for Little Train, whose first start was Watkins Glen Season 3. And there you see it. I guess I could have just read the graphic to find out that Pocono was where his first one was.
Yeah, I wasn't going to tell you.
You know, it's almost like I announced that race. 28 career starts for the riding shotgun stalwart.
Jason, we call him Little Train. And I've been passed the note. What damage there on Tommy Ryan, right from the earlier restart. We look at that camera. Little Train got the nickname from our own Soup. Zahn calls the races for the IndyCar Series on Wednesday nights with Richie Hurt. Go back to their Majors series is where I know the name Lionel Kalisto from, and that was way before I knew him in Lionheart. So here's one for even a deeper track for you. If you remember the Major Series as Pack Majors,
Yep.
that's how far back we go.
I made some starts in Pack Majors. Have not since it's gone to the Majors, although I know the fine folks that run that great organization.
Called a few races over there.
Adam Young gets a lap led there. And Adam's showing Ryan Otis how it's done. Saw him get right down next to Wardlow and use that side draft to poke out in front at the line. It's kind of interesting that Otis never tried that because he was getting pretty close to Dustin getting into the corner. Kind of didn't make sense that he didn't go try to do it down the front straight and get himself a lap led. Just cleared halfway, by the way.
Woo. Halfway. As Murray Walker said, with half of the race complete, means we have half to go.
Expert analysis from our own Brian Yatsen. Soon to be employed by ESPN The Ocho.
I mean, I've always wanted to call it competitive squirrel racing, so that'll be a fun challenge. Oh, okay.
John mentioned the Lumberjack series, yeah.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
Outdoor games, right? What was that stuff called? Do you remember that where they did like
I
the
do.
cut the tree, chopping the tree down, and the
I thought it was like the lumberjack games or something like that. I remember watching those on ESPN.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
That was good watching. Like this, let me tell you, 10-year-old Jason watched a lot of that.
Yeah. I'd probably say I don't remember how old I was, but yeah, that was some entertaining viewing back in the day. Speaking of entertaining viewing, look at that camera shot off of turn 3, watching these Lotus 79s, about 22 of them floating around the track here, charging into the corners. A little bit of a race of attrition. 3 cautions for 9 laps so far. 47 to go this time by. It's still, Jason, I was about to ask you, pick a favorite, but I'm going to say that
The pace car.
The window is still open. Yeah, the pace car. You could pretty much fold a blanket over the top 10. So if you're rolling straight by the end of this, you still got a shot at it. Michigan International Speedway, we've talked about it in the open wheel settings. Michigan International Speedway, many folks might know this, and if you don't, this would be a fun tidbit for you. Instrumental into the my U.S. Open wrong, my U.S. 500 wrong earlier. The 1994 Indianapolis 500 had that Penske machine powered by, I'm going to use air quotations, Mercedes, which is a fantastic read if you ever find the book Beast by Jade Gerst. But they did a lot of the long distance testing at Michigan International Speedway. There's a fun little tidbit for you. The 1996 US 500 was the one I was referencing earlier, where they paced 3 wide and wrecked it in turn 4.
That happened, yes.
Yeah.
Jimmy Vasser was the first one that went around in that, right? I think.
There's a lot that happened really fast.
I just remember during the red flag, them all getting backup cars out, which was a new one for me. Oh, well, technically the race didn't start. Well, I mean, yeah, that's correct. It did not.
It's my uncle, if he was plumbed different, he'd be my aunt. It was kind of that little scenario.
Way to make that a little more GSRC, IESN.
Yeah.
Friendly there.
I feel of some of the ones I've lobbed across the bow, that was probably one of my cleaner ones.
That was impressive. I wouldn't have on my feet been able to make that joke as clean as you just did. And that's one of my favorite ones.
Remember, Jason, we're digging out of a hole from early.
That's true. That's true. So you've been saving that one as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought of that somewhere early on in the race. Like, I got to hold on to that one.
Let's ride with your points leader, Ryan Otis, defending race winner, currently sitting in 5th place, stuck up top. HyperX bringing you this onboard camera. LionHRT15 is the promo code at hyperx.com. Let me tell you, Jazz and I both have HyperX headsets. Big shout out to HyperX for coming on board to power the Lionheart Racing Series this year and to hook drivers up with headsets. Let me tell you, man, I've got humongous ears, Jazz. I don't know about you. I know we both have big heads. I've got ears like I'm pretty sure Disney wrote Dumbo about me. I just wasn't born yet. And Adam Young, I might be a penalty, Adam. Just went below Wardlow, but he also dipped his tires below the white line. That's interesting. I was going to say the HyperX headsets, man. That's the only headsets that don't hurt my ears after about 90 minutes. So take that for what it's worth. There's a glowing endorsement from the inspiration for Dumbo the Elephant.
I mean, I'm just a variety of when I wear something cozy and comfortable, and I tell you it's good, I don't waste my time. It's a good product. So what Jason and I both are saying, go out there, get yourself some HyperX headphones.
And get a discount.
And get a discount. Come on. It's all about saving that extra little penny.
You cannot get a discount at Best Buy. Guaranteed.
You can't.
You enter that promo code at Best Buy, and they're just going to look at you and be like, what is this?
Sir, please leave.
Please sign up for a credit card.
Yeah, then you might get a discount. For the first one.
Race control let that slide with Adam Young, obviously. He's still up there running with Wardlow.
I'm fine with that. It was a calculated move.
He dipped below the white line for a millisecond there. My only concern about it. Dustin Wardlow pitting. 41 laps. 42. Boy, maybe the butt kicker race analysis was correct. Who knew? Adam Young's coming next time by.
Well, that was 42.
Everybody's good to go from here. Everybody's good to go from here.
Hang on, Jason. That was 42 with cautions.
Yeah, that's curious. They're using more fuel in the draft? I guess you could be if you're not lifting at all. Adam Young's going to come this time. I mean, the other question here is, like, is Dustin Wardlow going to lose a lap?
Wardlow is rolling now to the end of pit road.
He's off. It's going to be close. It's going to be real close.
Adam Young got onto pit road all by himself. I think Dustin, he might get just out in front of the pack because he is getting to turn 2 now.
Now he can merge up.
There.
Mike's off
and
one. Wardlow's
look
going to stay
just
out
behind him. I mean, if you go to a rear shot of Dustin.
About a half a straightaway. But he's got a big enough gap, and he's running fast enough speeds. I don't know if they're going to run him down. They might.
Bobby Mike's got about another 20 laps of fuel. Ricky Hart's got about another 20, and they're going to be light on fuel, so more speed for them.
Mike Rasmus has to come soon. Same with Mark Cohn, Aaron Morgan, Scott Holmes. You've already got Matt Taylor down on pit road, I see.
Cohn on to pit road.
This time.
Adam Young may have just leapfrogged the Candyman. Adam Young got out of pit road,
big time.
He's out in front of Dustin.
Well, that's going to help Wardlow,
pitting.
though, because Wardlow just got the draft, and so now they're definitely not going to get lapped. That's a surety at this point. They're running the same speeds with the draft. So here comes Aaron Morgan. And here comes the watchman, Mark Cohn. Aaron Morgan is sideways, all crossed up. He hung onto it. Holy smokes. Aaron Morgan just had the save of the year getting onto pit road. He loses his spot to Cohn. Mike Rasmus on this time. Scott Holmes is on pit road. Let's watch it. Watch Aaron Morgan. I thought to myself, man, he's coming in hot. Woo! It's not often that you're staring at the pit wall, full locked right, and don't wreck this. Look at that. Oh, baby. And he didn't even get a penalty, I don't think. Hey, he's going to beat Cohn off pit road. Get out of here. How'd he make that work? Oh, he might get a penalty, though. He just dropped 2 wheels over the yellow line, and iRacing, that's not an admin call. That's an iRacing call, and iRacing is not kind about that usually, so we're going to have to see. Oh, man. Karma taketh and karma giveth away. Just
See
like
here.
that, perhaps.
It was very, very close on exit. Okay. Dustin.
Harden getting close. Well, that group that all pit, they're hanging together. Wardlow, Adam Young, Aaron Morgan, Mark Cohn. They all came out together. Ryan Otis is there now. Scott Holmes, however, lost that group. He's back with Bobby Mikes and Ricky Harden. Mike Rasmus off of pit road, and he's going to fill right into this group. I'm going to guess Aaron Morgan didn't get a penalty. If he did, he would have been on pit road by now. You don't usually go more than 2 times.
I know the newer, so, this could have been a benefit of the older track. The newer repaves, the pit exit is much more of a fine-tooth comb than these guys. I'm not going to say the OG version because this is from the 2009 variation of this Michigan International Speedway.
That's pretty OG. iRacing's 08, and this is 09.
Right now, Bobby Mikes out front. He's the leader right now. And you see, well, actually, there's a great camera angle because you're going to see inevitably the battle for the win between these 2 packs. What I'm going to be very curious of is the lap times. So you look at Bobby Mikes out front, 37:35. Let's go Rasmus, 37:54. Candyman, 37:14. Adam Young, 37:16.
What will be interesting is if Bobby Mikes and that second pack can run down the back of this pack of cars who already pit, who are heavier on fuel. Because if they can, Yaz, then they should come out like we just saw with a pretty decent gap over this other group. But if they cannot run this group down, it will not matter.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
In fact, the way that they're sitting right now, just eyeball visually looking, that entire group that has not pit yet of Bobby Mikes and everybody, they're going to come out right in the middle of this group for the lead. I mean, that is actually the physical distance that Brian and I were seeing here in Tim. Now, the lead pack that you're looking at. Now, this is the pack we're talking about who's already been to pit road.
Now, the thing that could throw a monkey wrench into this is these drivers, they got about 10 laps worth of fuel left in the tanks. They don't have to take as much fuel as Dustin and Ryan Otis and Rasmus. All those drivers, these guys probably take about half of the amount of fuel. So that's with a 34-second delta back to, or 34-second gap back to Dustin Wardlow, and I would have probably wagered about a 30-second pit delta. Whew, it's going to be close.
This now we're watching is the 3rd pack on the track. This is for 7th on back. So it's Little Train, Lionel Kalisto, Matt Taylor to his outside. Tommy Ryan with that front wing damage is hanging tight. Chris Lanini, Matt Houston are all in this pack as well as Mike Rigney and Trevor Malone and Sam Crow, and even Tyson Landis has been able to hang on. Oh, they're wrecking! They're wrecking! That's going to throw a monkey wrench. Matt Taylor is in the wall, and he wrecks with Tommy Ryan coming out of turn 4.
Tommy Ryan.
That one's on Tommy Ryan.
Might have to check his car for magnets tonight.
Tommy Ryan, he just pushes up. And I wonder if the front wing had something to do with that.
Push with like maybe a dash of net code right at there at the end just to really make sure the job was done. Well, this is going to change everything. Essentially, what we're probably going to end up having here is about a 15-car, nope, sorry, scratch that, probably about a 20-car lead pack. Because the cars that just pitted are going to cycle around to the front because they're obviously going to stay out. The cars that are out front, let's call that first all the way back to, 15th, where the Candyman sits right now. These guys are going to have to come to pit road on this caution to top off on fuel. Bet you they were wishing that the pace car was just a little bit more around the facility because Dustin and all them are just getting into turn 1 right now. Yeah, it's gonna get real interesting here at the end of this one because you have all these hungry drivers. Pay window starting to open up. Everybody's good to go on fuel. The only thing left is, they just got to race it now.
28 laps to go. Adam Young's in ready for interview. Boy, Adam Young just he's always ready to get mic time. Adam, are you predicting what we hear at the end of the race? I'm like, why are you here now?
I don't know. Just because, hey, I figured I'd tell y'all what's going on out here.
Well, just so you know, if you win this race now, you're now forfeiting your winner's interview by taking up mic time now. So
Is that how it is?
Yep.
Adam, it's been a really interesting race for us to watch so far. It looks like you might have figured something out as far as the race back to the line and using that outside there that nobody else has.
I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't figure nothing out that I didn't figure out last year. And if you want to know how this race goes, go back and watch the last 20 laps last year.
I mean, I recall that the finish was .002.
Yeah, and I was in fifth, only 40 feet behind. So, but at the same time, though, that was just placement at the coming to the line there in the last couple of laps. And this time around, though, I got better placement. And I'm gonna try my best to make this exciting. I got a lot of racing for here tonight, and I got things I want to say at the end of this thing if I win it. So, it's I got a lot. I want to go for it.
Well, we look forward to it. Hey, the one thing we know we can count on with Adam Young is going to make it exciting.
Doing my best, man. Doing my best, and hopefully you guys are up in the booth tonight.
Good luck, bud. Adam Young currently running in the second position behind the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow. Two cars are going to wave around here. Tyson Landis and Scott Holmes. We mentioned they didn't have the best pit stops and were therefore swallowed up by the leaders and went a lap down, so they will cycle back around here and get the wave around. Lights should click off this time for the pace car, which would mean we will go back green with 25 laps remaining. There go the lights. There goes Scott Holmes and Tyson Landis. So Dustin Wardlow takes his rightful spot at the front of the field. 3/4 of the way through this one as we close in on another restart here on the iRacing Esports Network, Global SimRacing Channel. This is the Turn Racing 200, round 14 of the Lionheart Retro Series presented by the DMLC Racing Channel. I'm Jason Galvin. He is Brian Yatzik, Sean Ambrose directing and producing this fine broadcast here tonight. And we're in for a good finish. We got friends and family who are sitting around wondering, what do I do now that football and basketball is over with? Quick, text them the link. This one's going to be pretty fun. Wardlow, Young, Mark Cohn, Ryan Otis, Mike Rasmus. Boy, the dichotomy up front, Yaz. Dustin Wardlow, who is in a points battle, but frankly needs to just start reeling off wins, and so he's going for it. Adam Young is in don't care mode. All he cares about is wins. Same with Mark Cohn, who's making one of his rare appearances here this year, the Watchman. Then there's Ryan Otis, who he's in fourth, and he won this race a year ago, but boy, he could really cement the championship, barring some really, really terrible luck at the end of the year with a strong run night. And Mike Rasmus, who finally picked up his first win in 7 starts, sits in P5. Here we go. Pace car peels off, and the Doors Candy Machine accelerates. Dustin Wardlow brings us back to the green ahead of Adam Young. And already Ryan Otis starting to make moves on Mark Cohn for third.
Back off of that just a little bit. Ricky Hart, Eric Morgan going up into turn 1. There's the next side-by-side battle. Rasmus just in front of that. These guys are going to want to get tucked up as fast as they can so they don't get left out from that lead battle. But then also, they get tucked up like that, they can run away from the guys behind them. Less cars to battle at the end of it.
Look at Cohn slicing and dicing his way to the front. And Mark Cohn gets a big run down the front straight and a push from Adam Young to take the lead. And Adam Young squeezes 3 wide into the middle. Dustin Wardlow, who it feels like has been on the inside of 2 and 3 wide battles for the lead this entire race, once again, just going to hang out down there.
Yeah, I think Dustin's probably just so used to the spotter going 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide,
Still there.
Still there.
Still there.
I'm remembering our conversation in the chat last night.
It's like Ricky Stenhouse's spotter in NASCAR at Daytona. They probably just put an audio tape on lap 1. It's in the middle, 3 wide. It just plays on repeat for 200 laps.
Speaking of in the middle 3 wide, Ricky Hart, where did he come from?
Power move for Ricky Hardin.
As the great Benny Parsons once said, shot out of a canyon. He messed it up. I know he messed the quote up. I know. Bright yellow machine. Looks like Sim Racing merch. The side of that, it's a new sponsor there.
We've got multiple packs forming once again here. The battle for the lead is 7 cars deep.
Oh, Adam!
Oh, Adam Young! Little contact. Up the track he goes. Nice save for Adam Young. So Ricky Hardin.
Let's
starts to poke his nose out in front of Dustin Wardlow. Wardlow, Hardin, Rasmus, Cone, Otis, Aaron Morgan, and Adam Young hangs on to that lead pack. The next group back is Little Train, Bobby Mikes, Chris Reagan, Richie Hearn, Ryan Corns, Finian, and then Chris Lanini, Tommy Ryan, Matt Houston. They're all starting to run that group down. We almost had 3 packs going. Oh, somebody's in the wall. Mike Rigney. Eleanor got the wall down the front straight. He's okay. It just kind of did the thing where, for those of you iRacers out there, you know, the wall tends to grab the car and hook you a little bit. So Mike lost a lot of ground. Mark Cone to the outside, 3 wide. Ricky Hardin did not get the lead last time, but Adam Young is like the only driver so far who's consistently been able to get out in front of Wardlow, and they were 4 wide behind the leaders there. Cone slid up top, and Adam Young announcing himself, I have returned.
Well, if you remember when we were just talking to him, what did he say about 20 laps to go? Yeah, look where we're coming at right now. Just going to cross the line. 19 to go this time.
Well, so that bobble, it delayed him by a lap.
We'll have to call him out for that. That second pack doesn't seem to be making any big inroads towards the back of, let's just call it Rasmus, the caboose of that lead pack. Boy, but if they can get there, this race is going to take on a whole different dimension. Look at this. Look at this shot. Look at this racing.
I just don't know how they're going to get there racing like that, yeah. Oh, Tommy Ryan and Chris Reagan were really getting close.
I mean, let's look. Little Train, he's at the front of that pack. 37-10. There are 37-27s in front of them. So they're gaining little by little. And oh, goodness, 4 wide again. Boys, hang on to it. Oh, there's a bunch of net code. Who's up in the wall?
Somebody in the wall. Big Reagan. Chris Reagan.
That was Tommy Ryan again, but that was about 20 feet of net code out the side of that 99 machine.
They tried to go 4 wide into the corner.
Take a look at it here.
Richie Hearn, Chris Reagan, Little Train, and Tommy Ryan went into the corner 4 wide.
Oof.
Oh, and it starts with Reagan and Little Train kind of net coding a little bit, and then it's like the net code just continued all the way up into Reagan. Oh, and Chris Reagan, who'd he catch? He caught somebody hard. Trevor Malone.
Oh,
Trevor Malone is
football spiked into the wall. Well, that's going to bring the pack back together. Also going to affect some of the Rookie of the Year battles. Chris Reagan is in the 4th spot in that, 4th or 5th spot in that. Not surprisingly, pit road is a quiet place. Pit crews are probably packing away all the equipment. 16 laps to go here in the Irish Hills, southern Michigan.
How far of a drive is this for you, Yes?
About 4 hours right on the nose.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. I mean, it's, you know, you wake up at 5 a.m., you get down to the track about 9:30, you get some McDonald's breakfast. Hey, man, that's a good Sunday. Well, when you arrive at the track, your experience may vary. But on the way there is what I can control. Anyways. Good thing they never published the air quotation satellite feed. We'd all be fired about yesterday. Having fun here in the booth, bringing you even better racing. Right along here under caution with Ryan Otis. HyperX camera.
There will be 13 laps to go when we go green again, it looks like. No, 14? 14 laps
green.
to go.
Lights are out on that Mustang pace car.
iRacing had a patch 2 weeks ago. As everybody knows, they have what they call week 13. This year it was what were we, week 14, right? Because we hit that weird window. So we got an extra week. And iRacing always releases, so every quarter, essentially, they release a massive overhaul patch. And this one was mega. And one of the things they worked on was speeding up cautions. As we know, some tracks, Irwindale comes to mind, as you know, is one of my favorite tracks, where every caution was good for like 8 or 9 pace laps, and it was just brutal. And so their goal was to kind of speed things up as far as the cautions go. And so I think that might buy an extra lap as far as the end of this race goes. So I'm going to go ahead and call 4 to go. If the leader gets to the line to mark 4 to go, then we're probably racing for the next flag. You think that's fair?
That's a fair assessment.
I think if we get one at 5 to go, as long as it's not, you know, like inches before the line, and they can get slowed down for the pace car. They catch the pace car at 4, you get 3 to go to pit, 2 to go, you get 1 to green, and you get a 1 lap shootout. So I think that's the window that we're looking at here. Racing to the checkers or to the first flag after 4 to go. There's 14 laps remaining here at Michigan, and Dustin Wardlow right away just guns it when the pace car peels off. Green flag flies once again here at Michigan, and the Turn Racing 200 is back underway. Wardlow, Ricky Harden, Adam Young, Ryan Otis, Mark Cohn. That's how they'll go sailing off into turn 1, and they're all single file, which will happen when the leader just jumps right away, which they had not done all race up until that point.
You see the Candyman going low, trying to break the draft, get away, but Ricky staying up on the track, going to be bringing himself right to the rear wing of Dustin. He's going to bring Adam Young, who we've already seen. He's not afraid to lick the stamp and send it. Ryan Otis, he's hanging in there. Big Pack isn't quite forming yet. Mark Cohn, Aaron Morgan.
Oh, that got real close there in turn 1. Wardlow did not get turned down all the way, as he's been running right on that yellow line, and he missed it a little bit, and he had to crack the throttle, and it cost him the lead. Ricky Harden out in front. Boy, if Ricky's smart, he's going to get down in front of Wardlow. Instead, he gives Dustin the spot. I don't know why Ricky would do that. I mean, really, why would you allow Wardlow to get right back under you like that, yes?
Easy. You can take the top lane. Easier to defend on the top lane. You get the run off of the corners.
Who's led the most laps tonight? Car running on the bottom. Yeah. By far.
Well, and also that little dust up, that brought Cohn, Rasmus, Morgan, that brought them right back into it. not too far back off of that, Bobby Mikes and Richie Herr.
Ryan Otis once again just doing what Ryan Otis has made a career out of here in the Retro Series. Gonna hang around the top 5 and watch things happen around me.
You know, for your video game notes, I kind of compare Ryan Otis to Agent 47. Just very, like, I'm going to get my job done. I'm not going to make a whole lot of noise, and we're going to get out of here.
I do love that series.
I mean,
I made a Hitman reference.
Yeah, see, I feel like it's there. You talk to very not cold and calculated, but just he has a purpose. He knows what he wants to get done. It's like a robot, and it's fantastic to watch. I'm not saying you're a robot, Ryan. We love you.
10 to go as they come off of turn 4. There'll be 10 laps to go here at the line, and let's watch who leads this time. It'll be Ricky Harden on that outside line. So I get that part of it, yeah, as far as being able to make a run. I really do. I was a little shocked that he allowed Wardlow to get right back underneath him like that. Boy, Ryan Otis kind of pushed up the track a little bit there, right behind this group, and that's Bobby Mikes who stuck his nose in there, and all of a sudden would have been a 6 or 7 car battle for the lead. Has turned into about 15.
You know, you could just have a fun, easy Thursday night, or you could just jump out of a helicopter with no parachute on a motorcycle. What? Hey, look at this. Look at 7, 8, 9, 10 cars. This whole pack is formed back up.
And Richie Hearn's blinking in the middle of it, just in case you hadn't had enough excitement.
That's the Murder Hornets to the 2020 event going on here.
Still 3 wide for the lead. Adam Young on the outside pokes his nose in front. Ricky Harden in the middle. Dustin Wardlow on the bottom. They're coming to 8 laps remaining here at Michigan.
I want to give just a quick shout out to Matt Houston. Now, that name sounds familiar if you're at the front end of this broadcast, boys and girls. He started this race in the infield grass after some early contact.
Literally was sideways in the grass and the green flag flew.
And he is up there in the lead pack, has persevered all night. Second time we probably mentioned his name after all that. Getting back up into the main pack, still has a shot at it. Good running from Matt Houston, the newcomer here for the series.
Here comes Bobby Mikes. Anytime you see that blue 43 car start poking his nose around, Adam Young just got shuffled hardcore. Ryan Otis thought about closing the door up there on the top side. Instead, is Otis going to get hung out here? He has. Look at everybody line up. Ryan Otis needs to find an opening.
They're trying to hang him out. They know what's at stake. If you can pin that one car back in the pack back there, that's one less guy. That's a championship for the race-winning driver that you don't have to deal with. So Adam Young, it's absolutely imperative for him to get by Ryan Otis. And there you got Mark Cohn on the bottom. He's going to make it interesting. 2 riding
driver
shotgun
of the year, Mark Cohn here in the Retro Series. Multi-time race winner. Oh, look at Mark and Bobby going at it.
That's what we call clear-ish.
12 miles left in this one. 6 to go. We're closing in on that magic window where we won't get a restart.
Bobby was getting real close on the fender, on the wheels there. Mark having to lift at turn 1. That's putting him back into the pack. Ricky Harden, Candyman still out in front.
Man, I hope we get to the end of this one. This is phenomenal.
Tommy Ryan! He's
a front wing damage and all.
Dragging it. He's getting it up to the front. Oh, come on, boys. Bobby
5 to go.
Adam Young up top. He's got Ryan Otis behind him. They're 3 wide going into turn 1.
Oh, one more contact, Adam Young. Big wreck. Huge wreck. That looked like it might have been net, Cody. Who's that barrel rolling? Is that Otis? Oh, it's Richie Hearn. Oh, man.
They might
Is
restart.
Otis in that? Oh, man.
Oh,
that
no.
is crucial to the championship battle.
And it was about, I mean, if the last one was 20 feet in net code, I'm going to call this about 30. And then about 15 feet in net code.
The entire crash was net code. Adam, Richie, and Ryan Otis. Man, and again, Same situation as the last wreck that I mentioned there, Brian, where I think the two inside cars, they got together enough to make contact, and as they started to wash up the track, it's almost like iRacing's, contact, metrics took those two contacts, and when the middle car moved, it just assumed he would move all the way up. Same situation as the last crash. And now the question is, do we get a restart? I think we will. There's 3 to go as they come this time. And my guess is the lights are going to go off at 2 to go, and we will get a 1-lap dash.
Oh, boy. Because they got the caution early enough that if they got 2 to green here, oh yeah,
that's an oh buddy. I heard Dustin Wardlow. Dustin Wardlow jumped on and said, "Oh buddy," and that means we're going to get a 1 lap.
That was Ricky. Yeah. If it was, I don't think Dustin wants a 1-lap shootout. Ricky does.
Hey, while we have a second here, Adam Young is messaging us. He really, really wanted to run well here tonight and dedicate that race to the weather forecaster. Adam and I share a bit of a bond. I worked in local television news as a morning news anchor for the better part of 4 years here in Bakersfield, for moving on, being very lucky to do what I do now off of GSRC. And Adam works at a television station down in Texas, and KCBD is the station, News Channel 11 down there in Texas. It's an NBC affiliate. You might have seen the news back at the end of August when their weather forecaster Kelly Plasker passed away, and Adam wanted to dedicate this race to Kelly and to all the mental health advocates out there. Usually it's a tough thing to talk about, but it's not a secret that Kelly fought some demons and took her own life, and that hit a lot of people hard. It hit me pretty hard because I've dealt with some bouts of depression throughout my life, and I've also lived the world that is being a journalist, especially in local news in this era. And really the last 7 or 8 years, that job has become increasingly difficult and strenuous from a mental standpoint. And we lost Kelly at the end of August. She tragically took her own life. And so just a reminder that if you're feeling down, that there's help for you out there. Reach out to friends and family. Don't be afraid to talk about it. The suicide hotline is 800-273-8255. And Adam just wanted to dedicate this race to Kelly Plasker and her memory. And hopefully, if this little moment here and reminder can help somebody else who's battling demons in their life, then it's done its job. So here we go. We're going to have 1 lap left here in the Turn Racing 200 at Michigan. Dustin Wardlow out in front of Ricky Harden and Bobby Mikes, yes.
And a caveat, because we're able to get this race finished. I saw George, after unfortunately wrecking out, was filling the chat full of Lionheart trivia, and he mentioned that this race is never finished under caution. And I read that and I thought to myself, boy, did he just jinx us. But here we are. Jason, we've been building forward to this one all night long. 2 miles left, Ricky Harden versus Dustin Wardlow. I'm going to almost call it a heads-up battle. If Bobby gets a draft, they're probably going to come around turn 4, 3 wide, coming for the checkers. Jason, let's have fun with this, buddy.
Here we go. Dustin Wardlow, Ricky Harden, Bobby Mikes, et al. Green flag flies. A 2-mile shootout here at Michigan in the Turn Racing 200. Dustin Wardlow stood on it right away, just like he did on the last restart. Wardlow and Harden opening up a gap back to Bobby Mikes. Look at Little Train sneaking on the outside. Little Train looking low. The more they battle, the harder it's going to be to get to the front two. Little Train and Mikes almost touch. Here we go. Down the back straightaway. For the final time, Ricky Harden to the outside of Dustin Wardlow. Into turn 3. Here comes Bobby Mikes. Little Train's going to have a run as well as Aaron Morgan, but it's a 3-car race for the win. In the Turn Racing 200 at Michigan, Wardlow's going to go to the apron. Ricky Harden goes up high at the stripe. Who's it going to be? It is Ricky Harden. Ricky Harden steals it from Dustin Wardlow at the stripe.
I told you earlier in the race, you want that run from the high side off of turn 4. Ricky Harden timed it perfect.
For the first time in his career in the Lionheart Retro Series presented by the DMLC Racing Channel, Ricky Harden, the Carolina boy, is going to go to victory lane here on the iRacing Esports Network and the Global SimRacing Channel. There it was, margin of victory, 8 thousandths of a second. And it's not even close to being the closest finish in this track's history. Incredible. Incredible. Wow. Ricky Harden, burn that thing down, my friend. You are a winner. And we will talk to him after this. The Turn Racing 200 goes to Ricky Harden and Unacceptable Racing. He's going to accept a trophy here tonight. Whew, have you caught your breath yet? Because I still haven't. What a race! Welcome back to the Turn Racing 200 and the HyperX post-race show, the Lionheart Racing Series, powered by HyperX. When you're trying to claw your way to the top of the podium, pays to have an ultra-comfortable, high-quality headset. Gives you the audio information you need to grab that checkered flag. From high-performance DRAM and SSDs to outstanding microphones, accurate mice, responsive keyboards, even the legendary Cloud line of gaming headsets, HyperX makes the gaming gear you need to succeed. Casual or pro, no matter your creed, color, or culture. We're all gamers. HyperX is always ready to game. Use the promo code LionHRT15 at HyperXGaming.com. I'm Jason Galvin alongside of Brian Yatzik, a thriller here tonight at Michigan, and it's time to throw up our Turn Racing finishing order for the Turn Racing 200. First career win for Ricky Hardin, and it comes here at Michigan in a photo finish over Dustin Wardlow. Bobby Mikes in third, Little Train fourth, Aaron Morgan fifth, Tommy Ryan, Chris Lanini, Matt Houston, we talked about it, was spinning through the grass when the first green flag flew and finishes eighth at the end of this one. Then it's Ryan Corns and Mark Cohn. Yes?
The 11th spot going to Mike Rasmus, last week's winner, rounded out. Oh, wow. Let's try that whole sentence again. Mike Rasmus, last week's winner in the 11th spot. 12th going to Finian Ducati. I don't think we mentioned his name at all throughout the race. Quiet night for the driver of the 94. Mike Rigney there, 13th. 14th going to Scott Holmes. Sam Crow, 15th. Another quiet night there. Classy Jason Bossy, that early damage, just persevered and able to pick up a bunch of spots as other drivers fell out of the event. Tyson Landis, 17th. 18th to Ryan Otis. 19th to Adam Young. And 20th to Richie Hurd.
21st on back, cars out of the race. Chris Reagan, Trevor Malone, Matt Taylor, George Gonzalo, David Clymer, Chris Tegg, Sage Karam, Paul Jenkins, and Chris Fowler. All righty, let's head on down to the Sim Experience Victory Lane. Sim Experience AccuForce steering system, the most advanced tuning features on the market. The AccuForce Direct Drive, second only to the real thing. Check it out, simexperience.com. 2 weeks ago, or 2 races ago at Iowa, this man had a great run. Last week at Gateway, this man had an even better run. And tonight, he is your race winner, Ricky Hardin. No heart in the wall tonight, my friend. Instead, you parked that thing right there in Victory Lane. Congratulations. Can you believe it?
No, can you believe it? I just wanted Lionheart, dude. I can't even believe it. What a race. Can you believe that race? Oh, my gosh.
We can. We watched it. I'm trying to figure out what it was like driving in it, though.
It was the most intense racing I've ever been a part of. I mean, constantly we're 3 and 4 wide through the field. And I got to say, sorry for the net code there that caused that last caution. I turned in, and when I thought Dustin was going to turn in, and we made a little contact wheel to wheel, and then it just unfortunately net coded whoever was outside of me. That I hate that, man. I hate net code, but that was such a fun race. Sim Racing merch on the car. Thank you to James Krahula for that. We got a beautiful looking car you can't miss on the track. I love it. Hard in the wall on Twitch. Unacceptable Racing, Tommy Ryan and Dean Mall. Dean Mall wasn't able to be here tonight, but what a freaking race.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back and watch your Twitch stream from tonight. That's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, man, we were just, we were definitely white knuckling it a lot of that race. And I couldn't believe the qualifying run we got. We were up there in second. I was like, man, how did that hold? It felt like it got so tight going into one on the qualifying lap that I just thought we were going to be mired back. And then, early on, I could tell that Dustin was going to be the strongest competition. He was just so good. And I couldn't really run the bottom like he did. It got too tight. I didn't feel confident in it. So I always tried to work my way to the middle and give enough room that we, didn't let anybody in between us.
Ricky, if you go back and watch the broadcast, you're going to find that I criticized you with about 15 to go because you had a big run, and Dustin, it looked like he got tight on the bottom and pushed up, and he had to lift. And you were totally clear of Dustin with Adam Young on the outside, and I was convinced that you should have shut the door. It wouldn't have even really been shutting the door. You had plenty of time to come down and take over that inside line Dustin had been running because he had led so many laps on the bottom. Instead, you held your line. You let Dustin have the inside back. Take me through the thought process there.
Yeah, I didn't want to get trapped on the bottom. I felt really good in the middle lane. In fact, I was trying not to tip my hand. Honestly, I was feathering it a little through 3 and 4 when I was in the middle lane so that I wouldn't beat him back to the line too many times and let him see how strong it was. But I really felt like it was extremely strong coming off of turn 4 right there.
Well, it certainly was on that last run. You could see it, and a great job on the 1 lap restart there. Were you concerned when it came down to just 1 lap? Did you worry that maybe you wouldn't get enough speed built up?
No, not at all. As soon as I saw that we were going to have a 1 lap shootout, I said, I just won. The only way I don't win is if the guys behind me run into us and cause some kind of chaos on the initial start. But they didn't, and we made it. I knew it. And in my interview last week on the second step of the podium, what did I tell you? I was going to go out here and win this race. That's what I said I was going to do. And you know what? We did it.
I think you did. Congratulations, Ricky. What a great run, man. It's going to be a popular win in the Lionheart world. Ricky Hardin, first career win, comes tonight, and it's heartbreak for the man who led the most laps, the Candymans, with Brian Yancek.
Dustin, from the thrill of victory to the agony of defeat, second place finish tonight, second closest finish in Lionheart history. Just got that from, saw that little footnote from George. Talk us through it. You were committed to the bottom the entire run, pretty much the entire race. Was that the plan from the onset, or did it just kind of unfold that way?
Yeah, no, I felt really good up in the third lane, which is how I was able to maneuver during the first stint. I didn't want to be on the bottom, really. I feel it's almost a cheat at a certain point because you have the clean air. It lets you stay down there. And if you get the just a wide enough entry. And there towards the end, it was really difficult because the pinching was more and more. And so it caused me to swing out wide one time. I missed my entry. And I gave Hardin the lead like that. I just didn't get enough of an apex, got enough of an angle in there, and then much to my surprise, I got that. You took the second lane into 3, and I thought, well, that was generous, but I didn't plan on staying down there, but I knew that that's where I had to be.
I mean, that's, you get down to the end of it here, and I bet you were heartbroken with that most recent patch from iRacing that shortened up the cautions a little bit, because had we run one more, we would have finished under caution. It would have been all yours, bud.
No, man, I'd rather win or lose under green any day, and I couldn't have been more thrilled for Ricky. Man, he was driving so good. He was giving me just enough room. I was trying to squeak up there a little bit here and there to get so I didn't wash out and one anymore. But that's racing, right? And he did it right. He did it clean. Adam, for all that time, like there was a bunch of us, and I'd like to thank George and Sage and Otis. Everybody all stayed put until the race was done, even though they had tragic nights. I hate that for them. And but no, I'm thrilled with this. It was just a great race. I had good fun. I just laughed out loud, and I don't think I've ever done that for losing before.
I mean, it's good that you could at least laugh at it at the end of it, Dustin. I mean, season's getting down to it. You had a good points day here. As we're winding down the season, as I've already said, apparently it's been one of those nights for me, Dustin. Hang on with me. I mean, we're getting down to it. With this being that, with three races left, any of them stand out at you as another shot to maybe take that next step up on the podium?
No, nothing. I'm always surprised when I land up here. I had a horrible start to the season, and when we figure drops in, I don't think I'm gonna fare too well. But I'm having a lot more fun right now in this back half of the season, and both this and the IR18 than I was having in the middle part of the season. So I'm just taking a race by race and enjoying myself.
Dustin, real quick, let me jump in here. I've got good news for you. If you go look at the points on the website right now, they're updated through tonight, and that includes drops, and it puts you P4, 25 points out of P3. So I think you're in better shape than you realize.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I had no clue. That's really pretty awesome.
I was hinting around to that. You're gonna have fun looking at it.
No, I was celebrating for Ricky, man. I wasn't looking at the website. That's cool. That's way cool. But while I have a chance before you guys kick me off, I want to thank DoorsCandy.com. I want to thank DMLC Racing Channel, and I really want to thank HyperX. I'm sitting here with a bunch of cool goodies from placing 5th place at Indy 500. Guys, this is the league to be in if you like tchotchkes that are good. And my team, like I said, they all hung around until the end of the race. And I'm thrilled. I'm having a blast. This was a good one.
All right, Dustin, we'll let you go off on that one. And hey, we'll catch you out down the road, bud.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Dustin Wardlow coming home in second tonight by oh so little. And the man who came home in third, Bobby Mikes, is on the podium for the second time in 3 weeks. Bobby, it was certainly an exciting race from your end of things. We talked about Matt Houston and what a great run it was for him to come home 8th after spinning before the green flag came out. You just about drove through him before the green flag came out. And here you are on the podium at the end of the race. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I didn't think I would still be in the race after I just saw a car appear ahead of me before we even started.
Yeah, I can imagine. We were actually concerned. It was hard to tell if you actually hit him or not. You know, the ghosting gods of iRacing pick and choose as they seem to like, and it was real close with you guys there. But hey, I want to ask you about the last restart. 1 lap to go. And it looked like you maybe just didn't get the jump that you were looking for, and allowed Little Train to catch you, and you kind of ran out of time.
It's for me in the Lotus 79. It's not about the jump. It's about not properly knowing how to shift the cars up through the gears.
Interesting. We can talk after. I'm available for coaching for a small fee. You just let me know. Man, that was a crazy race for you, though. Congratulations. That was really fun to watch you slicing and dicing through the field. And there's one thing that we know in Lionheart is if Bobby Mikes has a chance to win the race, it's going to be exciting.
I mean, I try to make it exciting.
I think you did a good job of that tonight. Hey, we got any Von Hansen's holiday deals coming up?
I mean, I could work some magic.
Bobby's working magic, Yaz. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Look, Yaz is got a mouth stuffed full of sausage as we speak right now. Who knew?
That or some top secret cherry crumble.
I'm intrigued. Bobby, we're gonna hang around. We're gonna have to talk after this race here. Bobby Mikes finishes 3rd tonight. Congratulations, Bobby. Great run.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight in the Lionheart Retro Series. I want to thank all the great sponsors that make this possible. DMLC Racing Channel. And follow along with Mark Cohn. Go watch this race tonight. He had an exciting one. Facebook and YouTube for the DMLC Racing Channel. HyperX, we mentioned it. LionHRT15 is the code at hyperxgaming.com if you want to get yourself some of that great gear Dustin was just talking about. Sim Experience is second only to the real thing. Go to simexperience.com. And Butt Kicker, feel what you've been missing. You can use the promo code at thebuttkicker.com. It's Lion2020. Plenty of other sponsors you see on the screen as well. Head to LionheartRacingSeries.com to find out more about all these great companies that support the Lionheart Racing Series. Original music tonight here and on every GSRC broadcast comes courtesy of June Lalonde. You can see contact info on the screen for June, as well as other great companies that help make the broadcast happen here on GSRC and the iRacing Esports Network. The Retro Series returns. Round 15 is October 15th. Got a couple weeks off here. We are going to Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Yes, the Retro cars will take on Spa on October 15th right here on the IESN and GSRC. We hope you will join us for that one. Speaking of Global SimRacing Channel, look at all these other great races coming up. There's the Retro Series Racing Spa. You can subscribe to GSRC on YouTube and follow them on Twitter and Instagram as well as Facebook. Get all the updates on events coming up. On behalf of our great crew tonight, Brian Yatsik, Sean Ambrose, and Dougie Beard, I'm Jason Galvin. I want to thank you all for spending the Thursday night with us as Ricky Harden gets his first career Lionheart win, and it comes in the Turn Racing 200. Until next time, remember, the only one who remembers when you come home in second is your wife and your daughter. Good night.